Good morning and welcome to Exampur. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Please confirm me that I'm audible and visible to you. As you know, we are discussing here NCERT class, NCERT of the geography subject. We are discussing the class 6 NCERT of the geography subject, and we have discussed the first chapter of the class 6 NCERT geography, and that chapter is related to the solar system, or you can say the related to astronomy. And now today we are going to discuss the second chapter of class 6 geography NCERT, and the chapter name is the globe, latitude and the longitude. Latitude and longitude both are the important concept that is relevant for your entire whole geography syllabus. So you should understand this concept, and this is very conceptual topic, and you can say most of the time and mostly you have the misconception related to latitude and longitude. So you should know about what is the actual concept of the latitude and longitude, and how latitude and longitude are determined on the Earth's surface, and why there are why there is a requirement to draw an imaginary line on our globe. So what are the reasons behind the formation, or you can say the drawing of the latitude and longitude? Because latitude and longitude are not naturally found on the Earth's surface. They are drawn by the human being. That means latitude and longitude are entirely man-made concept or artificial concept. It is not a natural concept. Naturally, this is not found on the Earth's surface. So our second chapter of class 6 NCERT, that is related to the latitude and longitude. So what is the globe? What is the requirement of the globe? Why we require the globe? And how latitude and longitudes are developed or drawn on the globe? All the things we will discuss in this chapter, and this is very conceptual thing. So you should maintain your presence in the class. Okay. So for understanding of the latitude and the longitude. So this chapter is chapter number second. The chapter name is Globe, Latitude and Longitude. This is the chapter number 2 of class 6 NCERT of the geography subject. Okay, so class 6 NCERT. Okay, this is class 6 NCERT geography subject. What is the globe? What do you understand by the globe? If you want to study about the Earth, so for discussion, for the clarity in the concept, we should imagine the Earth. So for the best study, or for the study of the geography, for the study of the Earth, we imagine a replica of the Earth. We make a replica of the Earth, and that replica is called basically the globe. So what is the globe? Globe is basically the replica of the Earth. We make a structure. That looks like the Earth, and that is, you can say, the replica of Earth is called the globe. So if you want to understand, if you want to make the concept of anything that is related to the Earth, you can relate that concept. You can understand that concept on this replica, and that particular replica is known as the globe. When you look the globe, you will see that there is many lines are drawn. There are many lines are drawn horizontally and vertically. So these lines are related to the latitude and longitude. These lines are related, and or you can say these lines are drawn on the basis of the latitude and the longitude. So what is these thing? So latitude and longitudes are the concept, that is the angular move. This is related to the angular distance. So these are the concept that is related to the angular distance, and the globe is basically the replica of Earth. Okay, so this is our chapter, that is the latitude and longitude. So understand here. So firstly, understand the things here. Suppose this is the Earth. Okay, suppose this is the Earth, and in the earlier time period, before you can say before the advancement of the geography, when we started to read the geography, when we started to study the geography as a subject in the early stage of the geography, the people thought that the shape of Earth is like a plate structure. Okay, so the people was thought that the Earth shape is a flatted shape, or Earth is like a flatted, or like you can say the plate shape. Okay, so if any object is like in this shape, that means there is definitely the ending point. You can easily denote the ending point of this structure. And if there is an ending point, you can determine, you can denote the ending point of any structure. Then there is no problem to determine, there is no problem to detect the location of that particular that particular object, because if any object is in the 3D mode, if any object is like this, and there is edges, you can find out the edge. This is the edge of any structure. It is the edge. It is the edge of this structure. So firstly, in the early stage, the people thought that the shape of the Earth is like this, and there is an edge. There is an edge, and this is the surface on which we are living. Okay, so this is the surface, and if this is the surface, and if you want to find out the location of any particular point, so you can easily get the location, because there are two dimensions are required for the determination of any location. So you can find out the location on the basis of these two axes. If you find out the location of any location on the basis of these two axes, there is no problem. But when geography, the study of geography is advanced, or the exploration was continued, and after some time, when we aware about this fact that Earth shape is not like a plate shape, Earth shape is almost a spherical shape. Earth shape is not you can say a plate-like shape. Earth is like a spherical shape, or you can say Earth is like almost like a spherical shape, or near about the spherical shape. So this advancement creates some problem to determining in the determining of the location, because if such type of structure is found, you can easily find out the location. But if any object is a spherical shape, there is a problem. This is not easy to find out the location of any place on this spherical shape, because there is no edge point, there is no ending point. Okay, you cannot find any end point of on a spherical, or you can not find any edge point on any circle. So it is difficult to find out the edge at this type of structure. So if when we aware that Earth shape is spherical, then another problem arises in the finding of the location. So people face the trouble how we can get the location of any particular place. So there is a scientific concept was arisen, and that scientific concept that is related to is latitude and longitude, and this scientific concept is angular distance. So when the people of that time faced the problem that is related to finding out the location of on the earth surface, then they took the decision, and they decided to draw imaginary line. They decided to draw imaginary line on the globe, and that is universally accepted or acknowledged by the people. If we draw anything, if we make any artificial concept, and the universally that concept are universally acknowledged, then there is no problem. So the people of that time, or you can say the geographer and the scientists of that time, I started to draw the imaginary line on the earth's surface, or you can say on the globe. And that imaginary line is based on the concept of the angular distance, and the purpose of this imaginary line to make easy to find out the location on the earth's surface. Because after the study, after the exploration, we aware that the location, you can say we aware that the shape of the earth is not plate-like shape. The shape of earth is a spherical shape. Good morning, Anju and Ajit. Okay, so if you understood it, if you if you aware that the shape is a spherical shape, then what scientist or the geographer did at that time, they started to they decided to draw the two axes, because to find out the location of any particular place, there is a requirement of the two axes. One is the x-axis and another is the y-axis. So these two axes are essential to find out the location of any particular place. And at that time, when these development in the geography was happened, the maths was well developed. Maths was well developed in coordinate geometry. You study that there is a two axes that are required to find out the location of any particular place on the 2D dimension. Okay, in the 3D dimension, there are requirement of the three axes, x, y, and z axes. But for in the 2D dimension, there is only requirement of the two, you can say the two dimension, that is the x and the y axis. And in the geometrical, in the coordinate geometry, you study that there is a y-axis and there is a x-axis. This is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. So y-axis are the vertical and x-axis are the horizontal. So there are requirement of the horizontal axis as well as the vertical axis. Okay, so there is a requirement of these two axes, and to fulfill this purpose of the axes, firstly, latitude and the longitude, the concept of the latitude and the longitude came into the picture, came into the in the scene, or you can say came into the picture. Okay, so there is a purpose is clear. We are the people of that time, or you can say the geographer of that time, was clear to draw the x-axis line and the y-axis line on the earth surface. So you cannot draw these lines on the earth surface. You can draw these lines into imaginary or replica of the earth surface, and that is the globe. Replica of the earth is globe. So people or the geographers draw the lines on the globe. So what are the reason why, how we draw the lines on the earth surface, and how we draw scientifically these lines? So there are requirement of the some scientific methods. There are requirement of the some scientific ways to draw these lines on the globe, because earth is not a small object, so you can draw easily. So if you want to draw on the earth surface, or you want to draw on the earth or entire earth, then there is a requirement to a basic concept, or there is a requirement of the scientific concept which is applicable or which is acceptable in universal way. So people, firstly, the people of that time draw an imaginary line, which is a single line that can be drawn on the surface, and this line is horizontal line, which passes through the center, which passes, or you can say this line is lies into the upper part of the center. Okay, so this line passes into the upper section of the center, and this is located on the surface of the earth. Okay, and this line is called the equator because this line is equally divide the earth horizontally into two sections, and the northern section is called the northern hemisphere and the southern section is called the southern hemisphere. Okay, so a line that is moving on the surface or on the upper part of the center, you can say the center of the earth, and this is equally divide the earth, and this equally divide the earth into the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So this is the equator. Why this is called the equator? Because it equally divide the earth horizontally into the two hemisphere, northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So we got an imaginary line that is the common line for the entire earth's surface, and there is a only line can be drawn which passes horizontally, which divide the horizontally earth into the two equal parts, and that is called the equator. And on the basis of this equator, the people was started to take the angular distance from on the basis of the equator. So if we take the angle of the 10 degree, so if we take the angle of the 10 degree, so there is the angular distance of the 10 degree is found here, and this is the distance that is the measured from the center of the earth to the surface on the basis of the equator. This distance is called the latitude. So if there is some distance that is the angular distance that is find on the earth surface, and if we make the same distance with an imaginary line, we meet the same distance with an imaginary line, so we will get an imaginary line on the earth surface, and this angular distance is called the 10 degree, and it is measured into the northern hemisphere, and that is why it is denoted by the north. And this distance that is measured from the earth surface as an angular distance, this distance is called the latitude, and the imaginary line which join the same distance on the earth surface, this line is called the latitudinal line of the same latitude. Okay, so what is the latitude? Latitude is basically the angular distance. Latitude is basically the angular distance. Okay, latitude is basically the angular distance. Suppose here is a 10 degree, that means the angular distance is the 10 degree, so it is the 10 degree latitude. If angular distance is 20 degree, so this is the 20 degree latitude. If angular distance is 90 degree, so this is the 90 degree latitude. So latitudes are the angular distance. You never say that the latitudes are the imaginary line. Latitudes are not imaginary line. Latitudes are the angular distance, and the imaginary line which joins the same latitude, that line is called the latitudinal line of the same latitude. Okay, of that latitude. So if the 10 degree latitude, this is the 20 degree latitude. If an imaginary line which join the 20 degree latitudinal distance on the surface, then it is termed as the latitudinal line of the 20 degree north. Okay, so here you should understand what is the latitude and what is the latitude, and what is the difference in the latitude and the latitudinal difference. So latitude is, you should know about this. Latitude is the angular distance. Latitude is basically the angular distance, and latitudinal lines are imaginary line. So latitudinal lines are the imaginary line, and latitudes are the angular distance. Okay. So we will look about the latitude in the next section. So latitude, what is the latitude? Now, if we look here, we find out that the shape of Earth is not like a plate. So what is the shape of the Earth? Initially, it was considered that the shape of Earth is spherical shape. but after some time period, or you can say according to the latest updation or the latest update regarding the Earth, the shape of Earth is not a spherical shape. The shape of Earth is now is called geode. Is called geode. The shape of Earth, or you can say the name of the shape of the Earth, is called the geode. The meaning of the geode is the shape which is like an Earth. The shape which is like an the shape of Earth. Okay, so shape of Earth is technically named as the geode shape. And what is the meaning of the geode shape? Means the Earth is flattened on the pole. The Earth is flattened on the pole. The shape of the Earth is like Earth is flattened on the pole, and the bulge into the bulge on the equator. That means on the equator the area of the Earth is outside it, and on the pole this is as a flattened condition. So this shape is like, you can imagine this shape from an orange like shape. You can say this shape is like orange like shape. If you compare an orange with a ball, if you compare an orange with a ball, you will differentiate. You can easily differentiate the size. You can easily differentiate the shape of the orange is different from the ball. Orange is not completely spherical, but ball is completely spherical, because orange is flattened on the both poles, and the same like orange, the shape of Earth is also flattened on the pole. Okay, so the shape of Earth is known as the geode shape, and it is like an orange like shape. And the Earth, it is not is in the erected form on the Earth, on its axis. So what is the axis? If axis axis of any object, suppose axis of any object is an imaginary line which joins its upper portion to lower portion with the center part. Okay. What is the axis? Axis is an imaginary line which joins the any object's upper portion to lower section with the center. Okay, through the center, you can say not with the center, through the central part. So Earth's axis is an imaginary line which joins the Earth's northern pole, that means the northern point of the Earth, and the southern pole, that means the southern point of the Earth, throughout, or you can say through the center of the Earth, and this imaginary line is called the axis. So what is the axis? Axis is an imaginary line which joins the northern pole to the southern to the south pole with the or you can say the through the center. Okay, so this is the axis, and it is an imaginary line, so it is also imaginary line. Okay, so what is the axis? I think it is clear. And what is the tiltedness of the Earth on its axis? Okay, Ajit Kumar, I'm repeating. I will repeat. Okay, so please make patience. I will repeat. So imaginary line. What is the imaginary axis? This is the imaginary line. If any object if any object lies on any surface, and object appears as in erected form, that means object is in a straight direction. That means the angle between that object's axis and with the surface is always the right angle. Suppose if I'm standing here, and I look that I'm standing straightly. Okay, I'm standing here straightly. That means if I am standing here, the axis of my body is that means imaginary line which join from the upper section to lower section from the center of the Earth. So the angle between my body to my surface is 90 degree. Suppose this object is located on this surface. So if it is located vertically, then the angle is the 90 degree. If it is located straightly, then angle is a 90 degree. And the axis of this object axis of this object lies, suppose this is the object, suppose this is the object, okay, and this is the axis of this object. So axis lies on its central part. So axis lies on the central part. That means the axis where the axis is required axis exactly lies, and the angle between the object's central part and the axis is always 0 degree. Okay. So if my axis is actual axis is located in the central part, and I'm standing there straightly, that means axis is lies on the actual axis, and the angle between the actual axis and the imaginary axis is 0 degree. Okay, and the angle between my body or the object and the surface is 90 degree. Suppose if I tilt, if I bend, that means my axis, my central part or my lower section is at the same direction, my upper section is in the bending condition. Okay, so my actual axis is lies on this section, and my imaginary axis is lies in this section, but my actual axis is tilting from this section. That means initially the axis is on 0 degree, but at what angle I am bending, the axis is bending from that angle. Okay, so if this is the 0 degree and this object started to bend, if this object started to bend, suppose this object is located at this point, so axis is now lies on this section, so there is a variation, there is a difference, there is a change in the angle, and the angle change, that is, suppose this is bending by the 30 degree, then this object is tilted on its axis by the 30 degree, and now what will be the angle of this or the angle on the surface will be decreased by the 90 degree and 30 degree, that is there is by the 60 degree, because initially it was 90 degree. If any object is located on this surface at the 90 degree and this object started to bend by what angle? So what angle is there is a bending, there is a subtraction, from the 90 degree, there is a subtraction from the 90 degree. Suppose this is bending by the tilting by the 30 degree, so angle that it will be make here, that angle would be 90 minus 30 is equal to 60 degree. So this would be the change in the axis. So if our earth is located on the imaginary plane, suppose our earth is located on the imaginary plane, so this is an imaginary plane. This is an imaginary plane. If our earth is located on the earth was located on imaginary plane in the straight direction, then angle would be the 90 degree, and this angle on the axis would be the 0 degree. But actually it is not true. Our earth is tilted by the 23.5 degree. Earth is tilted by 23.5 degree. So its actual axis is located like this. Actual axis is like this. If the actual axis like this, that means this axis, the earth is bending by 23.5 degree. So if actual axis 23.5 degree, actual axis is bending by the 23.5 degree, then what would be the angle with this? Then it would be the 90 degree minus 23.5 degree is equal to 66.5 degree. 66.5 degree. So what angle Earth make on its imaginary surface at the present time? The angle that is made by the Earth on its imaginary plane is by 66.5 degree. And the angle that is made by the Earth on its axis, or the difference or the tiltness of the Earth from its axis, is 23.5 degree. So there is a two angles. You should know about these two angles. Earth is making the angle on its surface, or you can say on an imaginary surface, that is by 66.5 degree, and Earth is making the angle from its axis by the 23.5 degree. Okay, so there is a difference. You should know about these differences. So Earth is tilted. So which type of language you should know about? If question will uh, if any question that has been asked to you, what is the angle? What is the tiltness of the Earth? By which angle Earth is tilted on its axis? By which angle Earth is tilted on its axis? By which angle Earth is tilted on its imaginary plane? Okay, so answer of this is 66 and half. Answer of this is 23 and half. The answer of this is 66 and half. Okay, so you should know about this point. I think it is clear in your mind. Okay, if any doubt you can ask. This is the axis. This is related to the axis. Now, what is the axis? I think you understood here. This. Next, what is the axis? It is clear. Next is, we looked at, there is an imaginary line that is divided the earth into two equal parts, and this is the northern hemisphere, this is the southern hemisphere, and this equator has played a very crucial role in the imagination of you can say imagination of the latitude and the longitude. Okay, so this equator has an important role in the formation of the latitude and longitude, and this equator is drawn, this equator has been drawn on the basis of the center of the earth, and center of earth is the same point or the single point on the earth. On the basis of this center point, central point or the center of the earth, we draw this line. So this equatorial line, this equator line is an imaginary line, and this equator line has been passes, this equator line has passes through 13 nations of the world. This equator has passes is equator is a line or plane? Equator is a line, not a plane. Okay, equator is a line, not a plane. Okay, this equator is passes through 13 nations of the world. So you should know about the name of these nations. All countries that lie along the equator, you should know the name of these nations, and it will be asked in your examination. So first country, that is the Ecuador. The capital of the Quito. Capital of the Ecuador is the Quito, and that is located on the equator. This is the capital of the Ecuador that is located on the equator. The second nation, that is from where, through where Ecuador is passing, that is the Colombia. And the next one is the Brazil. Okay, so Ecuador, Colombia, and Brazil. Now Sao Tome is an island country of the African continent. So Sao Tome is the next nation. Gabon, an African continent, when we enter. The next country is the Republic of Congo. Republic of Congo. There is the two nations. That is, one is the Republic of Congo, and another is the Democratic Republic of Congo. So in the initial phase, there is only one nation that was known as the Congo, and after the bifurcation of the Congo, one nation is named as the Democratic Republic of Congo, and another is known as the Republic of the Congo. So there is a Republic of Congo. Next is the Democratic Republic of Congo. That means equator is passes, or the both nations are lies on the equator. Okay. Next one is the Uganda. Next one is the Kenya and the Somalia. So in African continent, you can count that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 nations. Through the 7 nations, equator is passing from the African continent. Through the 3 nations, equator is passing from the South American continent, and through 2 nations, or you can say 2 island countries located, that is the Maldives. Equator is passing from the Maldives, and another part of the Asia, that is the Indonesia. Equator is passing through the equator, Indonesia, and next island, that is called the Kiribati Island or Kiribati country. So from these 3 countries, equator is passing through passing through. Okay, so you should remember the name of these equatorial countries, because this is the important point. This would be important. This would be asked in your examination. So you should remember the name of these countries. Okay. As you know, if you are preparing for the civil services examination or any government examination, then Exampur provides you many facilities through their application. Exampur provides you these facilities through its application, and this application consists many distinct features, many important things which is important for the student and aspirants, and this application has the material which is very relevant to your examination. So if you are student of the civil service examination or any government examination, you are aspiring for any government examination, so please join this application. Please download this application, join the Exampur through this application, and download this application. Then you will get the many important things, many important features that is relevant to your examination. Firstly, the free subject-wise, topic-wise quizzes with report card. You will get these free subject-wise and topic-wise quizzes with the report card. If you are start to prepare the topic, so what is the best way to judge that your preparation or your topic is clear or not? The best idea to solve the MCQs, to solve the quizzes, to solve the test paper. So if you are preparing any topic, if you are preparing for any subject, then this is the best way to judge yourself, judge your preparation through the quizzes. And all quizzes are free of the cost that are available on this application. So join this application and solve this free subject wise quizzes. Okay. Next important feature of this application is all exam previous year PDFs with solution. So as I told, I said you that PDFs or your previous year question paper is the mirror for your preparation. If you want to prepare for your examination, if you want to prepare for any examination, the best way, which type of the question has been asked in the examination, which type of the question would be asked in your examination, the best way to understand, analyze the previous year question paper and the previous year question paper of all examination that is in the trend at the present time for the government examination. All the PDFs are available on this application. So you can easily get the PDFs of the previous year question paper on this application, and you can also make the printout of this PDF in the easy way. So you can convert these PDFs into the hard copy as well. So it is also important thing, and you will get all job alerts, all the things that is related to your job, all the job alerts, or you can say all the information regarding the government examination you will get on this platform at the free of cost. Next is you will get if you download this application, you will get topic wise free live classes. Topic wise free live classes. If you have any problem in some specific topic of any subject, then you can go on the application and you can find out, you can search this topic and make clarity in this topic. Only you can clear the topic in a single video. Okay, so this is the important feature. If you does not want to read, if you don't want to take the entire class, so clear your particular topic through this application. And in this application, you will get the free full length as well as the sectional test paper with your report card with the result. If you download this application, you will eligible to appear full length test paper. There are many test papers are there on the this application. You can use that application. You can solve that mock test. If you want to solve the mock test as a full length, or you will able to solve this. If you want to solve the test paper as a sectional wise, you can also get the sectional test with the report card. And the one most important thing for your preparation, the last and not least, daily and weekly and monthly current affairs. Current affairs has a very important role in your preparation. Current affair, because all the trending papers had the, or you can say the paper which consists the GS section, entirely dependent on the current affairs. Okay, so many things. Even you can say if you are preparing for the UPSC, if UPSC asks any traditional section, then there is also any relevancy. There is also connection with the current affairs. So it is very important. You will aware with the daily, weekly, and the monthly current affairs on this platform. Okay, so it is an important thing. And how to, if you want to download this application, and then go your Play Store and download, search the application name Exampur Sarkari Naukri Prep. This is the official name of this application. Download this application, register yourself with your mobile number, and then you will get all benefits that are providing on this through this application at the free of cost. Okay, so download this application on your mobile phone, and then you will get all benefits that is relevant for your examination. So what is the latitude? Latitude is basically latitude is basically the angular distance. Okay, this is the angular distance, and the latitudinal lines are the lines that are the imaginary line which join the same latitude. Suppose if we are taking the angle of the 23.5 on this side, so if we take the same angle 23.5 in this side, the angular distance is same. And if we join this angular distance with an imaginary line, then this imaginary line which joins the same angular distance, and this line would be drawn on the surface, and that is why this line is called the latitudinal line. This line is called the latitudinal line. Okay, and this angular distance is called the latitude. This angular distance is called latitude, and this angular distance, the line, imaginary line which join the same angular distance, is called the latitudinal line. So this is the difference between the latitudes and the latitudinal lines. Okay. So in today's class, we discuss the thing. The remaining section we will discuss into the next part. So please join this session daily, and this session is will continue on this on the same time from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. at morning, and 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. So please join this session at every day, Monday to Saturday. From Monday to Saturday, you can join the session from on 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Okay, and in this session, I will cover the NCERT, the important section of the NCERT, and we started from the NCERT of the class 6, and this is the second chapter. And if you not subscribe the channel till now, then you can subscribe this channel. This channel is completely dedicated to the persons or the aspirants who are preparing for the civil service examination through the English medium. By the English medium, you can buy the English medium. So entire team, our whole team is dedicated for you. So please subscribe this channel if you want to prepare for the civil service examination. If you are a serious aspirant of the civil service examination, then you please subscribe this YouTube channel and share this video, like this video. We will meet into the next session. Thank you so much.